Hi guys. We're back with another bizarro attempt at live broadcasting. So we're going to give it a whirl. I've got some high-tech foam for the microphone that's going to hopefully mute a little bit when we turn the shaper on and the vacuum. It's pretty noisy. I don't want to blow your ears out. But that being said, this is a Gothic panel that I have had designed by the Shaper Assist program out at in San Francisco. The guys, you send them a line drawing, and they provide a good SVG file that can be read by the Shaper Origin. So thanks for everybody jumping in. I've just about finished my coffee. Oh yeah, Fiona. So we're going to give this a whirl. Just look over my shoulder. I've got it set up, I think, so that you can look over my shoulder. I'm just going to work for a little bit with the Origin. If you have any questions, just kind of hold them until I stop, and then we'll have a little back and forth, and hopefully it's beneficial. So I get a lot of questions about what it's actually like to use, and I thought this might be a way that we could, go after that. So we'll give it a whirl, and it'll probably be a bumpy ride, but we're having a go. So again, thanks everybody that's jumping in. I appreciate your love and support always, big time. All right, so let me adjust the camera a little bit here, and then we're going to give it a go. So I hope that does it. What we're going to do is this shape here, which is, I call the ghost, the Gothic ghost, because it kind of looks like one to me. We're gonna do the one on this side over here, and so this is the top of the panel, and so obviously that would make that the bottom, because that's the way bottoms and tops work. So I'm going to get this baby fired up. You can see the cut paths coming across as I drag this across. You see them get highlighted by the blue. So that's what we're on about right there. So, you know what? I'm going to finish this trefoil here. So this, I'm cutting the through cuts with a 1/4 inch bit, and I drop it down a 1/4 inch at a time, so that make sure that I don't overload the bit and make it break or something bad. So we're going to do that. I'm a 1/4 inch down here. I'm going to go ahead and punch that guy out, and then we'll move on to the Gothic ghost on the other side. So I'm going to do my old school muting, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, cool. How did that sound as far as the noise? Was it crazy loud, or did my little foam piece mute it fairly well? I don't know how to mute my microphone, so we're going that. Give me a little feedback if you would. Okay, so that's this guy here. We're now ready to, just to show you, we'll put the shaper aside for a second. Okay, John, thanks for letting me know that's okay. So now I've just got, in my old school router, I've just got a 3/8 bit chucked in there. We're going to go ahead and give ourselves this cove so that we get to this set right here. Okay, we're going to give that a whirl. See where we go, because that's what we do. Hold on, I'm going to mute you again. Oh, cool. Thanks for hanging with me through the kind of ghetto style stuff. Okay, as I dress that up a little bit, if anybody's got any questions, throw them my way. I'll look up every once in a while. I'm going to sand this out. My cove bit is not the sharpest, so I'm getting a little bit of burning in here, but not a big deal. It'll all get covered in gold leaf anyway, so not a big deal. So I'm going to grab some cling spore paper. Look that up. You'd like those guys. This is just getting the fuzz out of this. So what I've done is the shaper has provided me engraving for these carvings that are coming my way. Yes, I am the shape that I have cut with the origin. I am just following that with a regular standard cove bit with a ball bearing. Now, that could be done aboard the shaper, but for me, it's faster and more productive to just hold that, just keep that in the shelf underneath, already chalked up, the depth already set, ready to go, and it's just faster. Works better into my flow. So I think what I'll do is go ahead, and the third one of these, I'll go ahead and punch it out too while I've got this here. So I'm gonna mute you again. John, this is poplar. This is paint grade, so this is poplar, and it'll be the back of a chair. So we got to have the strength there. MDF and I don't get along very well. I'm kind of allergic to all of the glues and all that stuff that's in it. So it's we have a complicated relationship. Whoops, wrong one. Oh boy, my thing fell off. Was that crazy loud? If it was, sorry, my muter left me. Okay, so this was an adequate amount of shaper tape that was on here, but since I'm getting so much pierces in here, I'm probably going to go ahead and add some more shaper tape, because that's how this guy figures out where it is in the world. So what I'll need to do is add the tape and then add those tapes to this scan that's in here already. So I'll show you how I do that. But first off, it's important, very important, to get all of the sawdust off of your tape. Because if you have a buildup of sawdust on the tape, the origin can't read it. It views it like something's wrong, which is kind of a cool, it's just pure information for it. So, shaper tape. If you got questions, fire them now. This is probably a little overkill, but I found that one of the easiest ways to screw up is to not have enough shaper tape, trying to save a few bucks. Because this stuff in the big picture just isn't that expensive. Everybody seems to get hung up on the fact that shaper tape is 18 bucks a roll. It's just a disposable, like bits or anything else. It's just what you use to use the machine. That's not a big deal to me. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll go to scan and then add to scan. So we already have this in the machine, and now we just need to add in what we just did. It does remove very easily. It's a very interesting adhesive because it leaves virtually zero residue. I mean, it just pops right off. Every once in a while, like if you've been sliding around on it a lot, you'll have to come from the other direction and pick it up. But like you see, but there's no residue whatsoever. I mean, obviously they've put some serious design and money into this stuff. So it's got to be spendy. To be as accurate as and the adhesive is good, there's got to be some serious stuff going on there. Okay, so we're going to add to this scan. Get everything out of the way, all our sawdust off. So we're going to add to scan. We've added new tape. Now you can see this is what it's thinking is here. So now we're going to just go ahead and slide this over where we're at. It's kind of funny because it's reading this upside down because I have it turned 180 degrees from when I scanned it the first time. Okay, I think I want to add a few more passes here just to make sure we're good. I don't have to be on the surface at all. And now it's stitching all of this new information with the old information. Just crazy stuff. I love it. It blows me away. I don't know. All right, so it's all in there now again, and we'll go back to our cut. Okay, this is what I'm using to mute this thing. All right, so we're back into our cut file area. So now we're going to move over into this area here, and put this ghost shape in. Yeah, this is, you know, you're used to working with tools that, you know, pretty much. I mean, look at this guy. This 6911 Porter cable router. This thing, I could take this into a bar with me. It's old enough to drink. And it's pretty basic. You hit the switch, it starts spinning, the rest is up to you. With this thing, I've found that basically if it's not doing what I want it to do, it's because I'm messing up. Which, you know, that's kind of the way my life is. All right. So, I wonder what I did with my fancy dancy mute thing. All right, who took it? Gary? What did I do with it? It's lost. All right, everybody that's in the chat, just go ahead and look around for my mute thing that I lost. That little foam, did I put it in my pocket? No. It's got to be right here. Did anybody see where it went? All right, hold on a second. I'm going to go grab another. So this is what I'm using, believe it or not. It's over there to the left. You better not be goofing with me because I'm looking to the left now. Oh, here it is. What? I need some scan tape on it. That's probably not a bad idea, actually. Better than this low tack. All of the tape I've been using is this way low tack stuff for, you know, getting the gold leaf stuff on. You know what? I will use a little bit of shaper tape just to really freak people out. You got that right, Jim. Looking for stuff in the shop is 90% of shop work, I believe. All right, we're going to give this, we're super high tech. I can't believe this. I feel so intelligent right now. All right. Okay, so I'm going to give this a whirl. We're going to try it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this shape out here, so it'll be, you know, a few minutes running that. And, but I think you'll see this come together pretty quickly. This is the fun part. So here we go. Okay, that's not going to work either. Okay, this is about to get ugly. This is aluminum duct tape. If that doesn't hold, we've got serious issues. I mean, serious. Oh, geez. I got a feeling this is a terrible idea. Where is the mute button? If I could find that, I would be so all about it. Oh, geez, there's a button right here. Okay, we're gonna actually do this the right way and mute the microphone. Here we go. I know how to do it now. So we're gonna fire it up, and I'm gonna mute the microphone. Thanks a lot, Gary, appreciate it. Here we go. There we go. So you could see there a couple of times when I was dancing around with the vacuum hose, I wasn't paying close enough attention to where I was going, and I got outside of my target here. Instantly, the shaper retracts the bit so that I can't go out of my design. So we still get a good cut here, but you got to restart it. But that's just a way of making sure that you don't screw up like I do all the time. Okay, I'm going to vacuum that out and do another pass. So that was a 1/4 inch. You can see it start to take shape here. I'm going to go down to 1/2 inch now, and we'll go with it. So you guys are seeing the screen on the shaper, okay? Okay, good, good, good. All right, let's do that. I'm going to mute you again. I feel like I know what I'm doing now. Okay, so here's the dealio. Did you see at the end where the shaper retracted itself? What happened there is I was still on track, but it didn't see enough, because I was pointed like this, it didn't see enough tape out here. So what I did then was point it this way so it would see more in this area and see a lot more information. And then it was comfortable, having enough information to accurately cut the shape. So that was cool. I'm glad that happened so you could see it. So this guy is now down to a 1/2 inch. So this is the final pass. This panel is like 0.733 or something like that. So what I do is this pass I will set up at 0.737. And that gives me just a little bit to make sure I'm all the way through, but yet I'm not like way into my spoil board here. So I'm going to do that. There was something else I wanted to tell you, and I do not remember what it was. So we'll, we'll just go with it and see what happens. All right, here we go. One more here. We'll get this guy loose, and then we'll keep going. Thanks for hanging with. I hope you're digging it. Oh, yeah. What do you think about that? I think it's just amazing. So, what I've done here now is I have cut this um, a thousandth, I think it's a thousandth or a hundredth inside of the actual size. So, uh, what we'll do now is I will go back around that again, a thousandth bigger. So what that'll do at full depth. So if there's any, slight stepping or anything like that, that'll clean it all up and make it a nice smooth surface for the bearing on the other router to ride on. Okay, so we're gonna do that real quick, and then we'll go to the other router. Let's do it. Hi everybody who's joined in. Thanks, I appreciate it. Always appreciate the support. Okay, check it. Yeah, all my power tools have built-in noise canceling because I am that smart. I'm gonna go ahead. Don't any of you guys put that out into public, okay? Because it's not like this is the internet or anything. I'm gonna patent that here in a couple of weeks. I think so. So here's the deal. Just to give credit where credit's due, this design has gone from my hand-drawn design to Shaper Assist, which is their program for making this an SVG file, and all of these cut paths are on the machine. So whether I'm inside or outside, they've already done that hard work, which is way cool. And for me, who's trying to make this stuff as fast and quick as I can, it's a huge boon because I can do other stuff while they're doing that kind of work for me. So that's wicked cool. Let's go ahead and, I don't know if you can see, I know you can see these. Yeah. All right, hang on. If you're gonna get seasick easy, I'm gonna take you in for a closer look. So here's the deal. You see these etching, how'd that hurt? That had to feel. Okay, so see these etchings here? Oh yeah, there we go. These guys here. So that's a V-groove bit. And what they've done is they've lined this all up at 3/8 of an inch, which is my router bit. Okay? So those are going to come. And then when I come into these pointy areas here at the end of the carving that I have to do by hand, that'll make this a lot easier because I will know where these arcs come to a point. That's actually very difficult to do for a moron. So yeah, here's one that I put lead in for yesterday's live broadcast. So you can see that a little easier. Now, just so you know, once you make any injury to the shaper tape, this particular domino, no longer can be read. The origin will cancel it out, basically. So its neighbors are still fine, but this guy here, nothing there, no info. All right, I'm gonna put you back up. Anybody have any questions while I have the machine turned off? Talk to me, tell me something. I don't know, that was weird. Sorry, that got weird, didn't it? Okay, so if there's no questions, I'm gonna switch to the Porter cable and I'm gonna put the coves in these two ghosts and we'll go from there. I'm going to move the origin out of the way just because, you know, apparently it's not only, the question was asked, does the pattern repeat on the tape? This tape is the way that the machine finds its place in the world. So there's no fixed bed, of course, with this like a regular CNC machine, but this tape tells it where the machine is in relation to the design, in relation to the panel that we're cutting on. So, Gary, now I forgot your dang question. What in the world? The pattern on the tape is randomized on the roll, and then it also figures out where it is in relation to the other ones that you've put on here. So you kind of randomize it by where they are in relation to each other. Does that make any sense at all? I don't know. We'll go with it and see what happens. All right. So let's put a cove here, and then I'll show you a little bit of hand carving. Oh, I better mute you. I'm so glad I know how to mute. Exactly like a QR code. Well, not exactly probably, but pretty darn close. I'm back. All right, so anybody have any questions? We're talking about the tape. Did you guys get the program where I went ahead and cut a little bigger on my last pass to get a nice shape in here? That's one thing that's a nice tip, that it really makes this nice. Very little sanding to do in there. So let's go ahead, and there's a few other details I could do in here, but let's do some carving just so you see how that integrates into this. So basically, just a 1-inch straight chisel. Any bit can be used in this machine that's a 1/4-inch shank, within reason. So let's see. So this is a 7/6 carving gouge, and what this is the same radius as this 3/8. So this guy here, I can rotate up and down that shape, and it comes into shape pretty nicely where I hand carve it. So let's give this a whirl. So what I've done here, let's see if I can mark this out so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that pretty okay. So I'm going to go from this corner here to this one here. Draw a line. And then what I typically do on this is define my center like valley, right? So, and again, I'm not a carver by any stretch of the imagination. I do what I have to do. So if there's anybody listening that has a better way, I'm wide open. But I just give these guys a little freshen up. Somebody had a question, I think. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, is there a question? I can't get the, oh, well, here it is. Can you get a new board and start over? Oh, because you missed part of it, Jim? Nah, I don't think so, bro. This one's got some serious hours in it already. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We'll go straight down on this valley. So we're down 3/8 of an inch here in the cove, and we're obviously up at the top surface here. So what we'll do is pierce this down hard here, and then a little bit lighter because we're coming up that valley. And then just lightly there. So what this will allow me to do, on this one, this is the shape of the cove, but we're going to use this to get some of the big waste out of the way before we move to this guy. Just because this is a big, you know, like manly chisel. Manly. It's all manly. That's not the reason why, it's just easier. And I'll be honest, these are way easier to sharpen, so I tend to use these as much as possible because I'm lazy. All right. Can you see okay, or should I try to move you down onto the table surface? Because I'll be more than happy to do that too, depending on if you can't see what I'm doing. Let me know. All right, so I'm getting down pretty good to that valley where I want to be depth-wise. So now I think I'll take this guy and start shaping it. Oh, Gord Roberts is in the house. All right, let's just freshen this guy up a little. So I'm just rolling this guy on this round part of my strop. Andy, thank you for coming in, man. The IQ level always increases when Andy Pugh is in the house. Thank you, buddy. I've always said if it's sharp enough to pop the hair on the back of your hand, it's sharp enough. Okay, here we go. All right, I've got to pull that one the other way because the grain's going the different direction. All right, can you guys see that okay? Okay, I'm gonna move in then. Great, thank you. All right. If I can find my, okay, let me set you down for a second. All right, we're gonna get in. We're gonna get in, I promise. All right. I'm going to set you over here. All right. How does that look? Is that better? It'll be a little harder to see the questions and stuff, but what the heck. So basically I'm rolling this guy all the way over onto its shoulder to get a nice, you know, valley, a shape of roundness that's coming up in elevation as we go into the tiny little point right here. So the whole purpose of this carving is to catch the light. So that means that we want this shoulder here to be a very distinct area. We don't want it to round over into the shape at all. We want it to dive, because the harder that shape is, the more light it will catch. And especially once we get some gold leaf in here, this thing should just apologize for absolutely nothing. You pay attention to me. I am a beautiful facet of woodness. I think it really says that. In my world, that really happens. Do things talk to you? Is that an awkward question? All right, so I'm just going to give myself a little more depth here with this pierce. There we go. Now again, this is I can be a little sloppy with this, because this is all going to get, you know, filler and paint and gold leaf and all sorts of stuff piled in here. The real wood carvers have to be a lot more exacting when they do this. So I'm just trying to like feel my way with the back side of this guy on that cove that's already there, and just try to mirror that exactly, or at least pretty much exactly.
the term I use is precisely, which is a combination of precisely, pretty close, and exactly. Somebody might want to write that down. Or not. Right, here we go. Okay, I'm kind of digging this right here. This side is looking pretty decent, which is probably the hardest one for you to see. But we're going to go to the other side. So what we have now is one side deep enough and the other side not quite. So I'm going to come back from this direction. Okay, hold on. It looks like I've got to get some power to my phone, or I'm gonna die. All right, hold on. A little rough ride here for a second. Ho! Okay, here we go. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So we're going to wrap this up pretty quick, but this is just the process that will be repeated probably about 100 times on this panel. So, but you know, every little detail matters, especially on a piece of significance. And the way I don't mean that by something I made, but this is the presider's chair. So this is where the priest actually sits, you know, during Mass. So it's a pretty important piece, you know. You got to take care, way more care than you do on pieces that are up on the wall 20 feet in the air. You know what I mean? Even though they look crazy perfect, they're way not. All right, so that is the basic process. And what I'm doing now is just, like I say from before, is just making that shoulder nice and tight. Because this is, believe it or not, more about light than it is about shape. All this shaping is just to make sure that we get the light doing the work for us. Hope I got one little piece here I need to. All right, I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick. If anybody has a question, let me know. I'm going to show you my pretty mug here pretty close. How does that look? Pretty okay, right? All righty, I'm going to put it to rest here pretty quick just because it's getting hot in the shop. I want to do this early so that it was relatively cool, but I'm going to shut her down, open all the doors, and keep going. So thanks for hanging in, everybody. I hope you learned a little something about both the origin and my process. So I really appreciate you sticking with me. I don't know. The support from this community is just silly, you know. A guy that wanders to his garage every day to, you know, have the guys from the UK and Germany and Florida and all over the place. That's just cool. Thank you very much. You guys take care. Thanks for hanging with the rough stuff. I appreciate how to find the mute button. So we'll continue to get better as we do these things. I just figure, you know what? I've been toying with doing live broadcasts for, shoot, a couple of years. And, oh, John, you're in Spain. That's right. Oh, yeah. Well, listen, this is about learning and about the process. So we're just giving it a go. I know there's rough patches, but thanks for hanging with me. Appreciate you guys. Berkey out. Okay, does anybody know how to turn this off? No, seriously, I don't know how to turn it off. No, really.